Hello everybody. Today we're going to see how I draw Lil Whip. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quick sketch just to make sure I put him in the right spot and that I get everything in. I know you can't quite see everything, but that's okay. We're going to switch to a Sharpie real soon. And then at that point, you'll be able to see a lot better. And you'll be able to follow along much better. But I need to do this real quick just to make sure I get everything in and to make sure I don't fall off the page. Because sometimes I do. And then I gotta go back and restart the video because I didn't draw it in the right spots. So that's mostly what this is. This is mostly for me. And also, like I said, it's just to make sure I get everything in the right spot and make sure I'm happy with the pose that I give them to. Let's see. There's his feet. Okay, got his big old boots. And this is going to have a little special technique for his cone. The texture on his cone, because the way I do it is going to be taken care of with these pencil marks, and then that'll guide me for when I do the ink. But if you're not following along until we do the ink, then you're going to need something a little different. So what I'm going to do is use some tracing paper to show you how I'm doing it. But for now, I'm just going to keep going the way I am, because I don't need to worry about that till later. Okay, and they're gonna have his hands splayed out because he's super happy. And oh, his face. I did the shape, but I was about to say, okay, let's go. But I didn't actually add the details to his face. So I need to do that real quick. Alright, I think I might be happy with where I am. Oops, I'm going to angle his eyes a little bit more. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is going to be my guide for when I do the cone texture. So I know what to do, but when it comes down to you drawing, you're not going to see that yet. So you'll see it when it's time to draw it, because I'll use the tracing paper so you can see it. So, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to switch over to a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. And first of all, I think I'm going to start with the thinner Sharpie just for some smaller detail inside the face. I'm going to draw his mouth first, and then I'll follow along with the head. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I do this every time. I always change my mind every time I start. So I'm going to start off with the Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw his head and work my way down. So let's go ahead and just draw this line first. That'll give me a guide of where I'm going to be. So about here in the middle, I'm going to draw his little bite marks out of the cone. And then I can draw down like this. And that'll give me an idea of where to start with everything else, okay? So now we can go ahead and draw his head. So I'm just going to follow this shape. I'm going to start with the bottom of his cheeks, but I was trying to think of what it's called. It's a dip, you know, the bottom of his dip, because they say how many dips do you want in your cone, right? So the bottom of his dip, and then the top of his dip, which is his head. But now I'm going to add the headphones, or not headphones, sorry, the earmuffs, because they're a little bit over the head. The head would be right here, the earmuffs are right here. So I'm going to do a line like this, and that'll be the earmuffs. I'm going to do the same thing over here, and that way it's in front of the head. The head's going to be back behind it right there, see? So that line would be there. So I'm going to bring it up to about right there. Same thing over on this side. And then I stop because I want his whip to be coming up like this inside the head, okay? So same thing, I'm going to bring this one down like that. And then I can draw his eyes. We'll go ahead and stick with just simple lines for the eyes. Kind of down at it. See, this one's like this one's like that. So kind of a happy eyebrow, or eye that's closed. So now I can do his mouth. Let's give him a smile and bring it around like this. And now I'm going to do this Sharpie, the smaller one, so I can get better details on the teeth, because that one's just super sharp, or super thick for what I'm going to do here. So I want the middle tooth right here. Just want to make sure I get that in first. That way I'll know the size on each one, what I want to do. So then I can do like that, and like that. Okay, and he's got some sprinkles, but I'm going to do those with color, so I'm not worried about those yet, but I'm going to add the edge of his earmuffs like this. I'm going to thicken it up just a little bit with my pen, because I want it to match a little bit the other size of the Sharpie. Not quite, but just enough that it doesn't look weird. Okay, that'll be that. So, oh, he's got a tongue. Let's do the tongue. Kind of went into that tooth real quick, but I'm going to bring it down, thicken it up, and that should be good. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back over to this fine Sharpie, which is fatter than the other Sharpie. So I guess that's an ultra fine Sharpie, right? So now I'm going to draw his jacket, and it's going to kind of come down from here, go like that, and then do the same thing on this side. Going to kind of close it off if you didn't go all the way, because I didn't come quite over. That's okay, I just went back over, that's all I did. So the same thing, let's do the jacket over here. Go ahead and just bring it up like that. And so now I could draw his sleeves. Okay, and you know what, let's go ahead and do his shirt, and then I'll show you the details that I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring this side down like this, tuck it in like that, because his shirt's got a rib at the end of it. Same thing like that. And I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Okay, so what I did here is I'm going to have you do the same thing. I did my pencil lines to guide where I want the texture of the cone. But since you can't see it, I'm going to do it like this with a fatter Sharpie so you can see what I'm talking about. So you draw super thin, but draw these lines basically. Just kind of cross like this. Okay, but do it super thin so you can't see it. And then you're going to make an X all the way across like that. And see how it's kind of that shape? That's what you want it to look like, okay? So just kind of do that real thin, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with this, okay? So now for this technique, what we're going to do is we're going to go basically inside the lines. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oops, sorry about that. Let me grab another Sharpie real quick and show you what I'm going to do like this. Let's get a red. So basically I'm going to go inside each one of these lines and not touch. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do like this. Can you see that? Maybe not. It's an old Sharpie. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to kind of do like this. Not going to touch them, but I'm going to kind of do like that. Okay? So I'm basically taking that sketch and just going inside each one of those. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do with my fat Sharpie here. So now that line is there, I know I have a guide. So I can basically do this. I'm going to start about the middle here, just kind of go down, not really touch, and just do something like that, okay? It doesn't matter if you pick the same spot every time, but we're just going to kind of do like this. And just kind of follow that, that little X pattern. You just got to find where your line is and do it again. Here it doesn't matter, you can just go like that. And so I'm going to do the whole thing like that basically. So you just kind of pick a spot and you go and you do it again. And this is going to recreate that waffle texture kind of look. And so see how now when you can't see that real thin line, it looks like that's all you did, right? Pretty cool, huh? And if it doesn't look like exactly like this, that's okay. This is how I draw. You draw how you draw. And this is just a style I'm picking to choose. I'm trying out just to see if it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But that's what we do. We experiment and try different things. Alrighty. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more. And I know I told you I don't connect them all, but sometimes I will. You know? You just do what you want. This one I'm going to do the whole thing. Here you go. How you like me now, Lil Whip? Okay. That's going to be good for his body texture style. You know, he's got a few here too, but I'm just going to kind of do something like that. Like, it's not that important on his arms. So, just kind of almost the same thing. So it's kind of the same, but it's not, right? Okay, so now I'm going to switch back over to the fat Sharpie. And I'm going to continue with the arms. I have the hands out like that because he's happy. He's a little whip, right? So I'm going to draw the hand out here. I'm going to do the, see the shoulder was there, then the bicep to the forearm, like that. And he's got gloves on, so we're going to give it that edge. Draw the other arm, or the other bottom of his arm. And I drew out the sketch of his hand, so I kind of know where it's going to go. His thumb's going to be there. His fingers are right there. Okay? So I'm just kind of follow along with me. I'm going to give him the bottom of his gloves, and I'm going to draw his hand like this, up to the thumb, out to the finger, and out to the middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, and back into the hand. Good. And let's do the same thing over here. So I'm going to draw, that's where the shoulder is, down to the bicep, forearm, bring it like this, close it off for the glove, draw the other part of the hand, the elbow, forearm to that. We'll call that the glove because I didn't like the way I went down too far, but I fixed it, see? So same thing here, I drew the hand out, so I know the thumb's going to be there, finger, middle, ring, pinky. So I'm just going to kind of do like this. And I kind of know where it is, so I'm just going to kind of follow my guide. And like that. And good enough. Not quite, looks kind of funny off to the side like that, but hey, you know what? This is my drawing. I can do it how I want. Okay, let's draw his pants. They're pretty easy, just going to be some solid shapes, and then I'm going to come back to the color and do the sprinkles. So let's, ooh, I'm going to fix that before we go to the one last line because it looks like it dips, but I gotta give him an edge to his whip. Okay, so let's do his pants. I'm going to do one side like this, and I'm going to kind of bow him out like that a little bit, bring it all the way down to here because he's got like these funny little bow shapes to his pants. So I'm going to cut it off, bring it back up for the ankle, bow it back in like this, then bring the other side down, bow it out just a little bit. And his other leg's going to bow just a hair like that. All right, and so we're going to draw his boots. So we'll draw them both at the same time. So I'm going to draw the front of his boot down like this to the toe. So I'm going to draw the front of his boot down like this to the toe. There's the toe. He's got kind of big, round, kind of clowny shoes, right? And I'm going to bring it in and draw the heel like that. I'm going to bring it in, draw the heel up to the ankle like that. I'm going to give him the... he doesn't really have treads. He's got like these big... heels is what he has. Okay, so now I'm going to add just a few more little details. He's got a couple of laces over his boot like this, so it kind of comes down, and he's got a lace that goes like this. Got another one that goes like that. Same thing here. Lace that goes like that. Draw the front one first, then you can draw the other one behind it like that. And that'll take care of this. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a neck right there, just with this little line. Just gonna add kind of an implied line like that, so he's got a neck. So now I'm gonna color it, but for now, that's Lil Whip. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.